Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. So next day into preparedness month. So I thought I'd do a video here for some of the newbies, but also some of the veterans on a topic that I've actually never covered before. And when I've showed you guys my pantry, my prep room, if you will, a few of you guys have commented on it. But I thought I'd go through a bug out bag here for everybody as to things that you might want to put into it, some of the, I don't want to say rules, but some of the guidelines that you might want to follow with it. Now, everybody's situation is different, so everybody's bug out bag is going to be slightly different. Okay, you might not need something I have, you might need something I don't have. Okay, a lot of stuff is going to be similar, probably about 80% of the stuff is going to be important to have, but you're going to have to customize it a little bit on your own as well. All right. So, rule of thumb when you're doing a bug out bag, it should not weigh more than 25% of your body weight. Now, I weigh almost 300 pounds. I'm 6'8". I'm a big guy. Well, 25% of that would mean that by the guidelines, I could carry a bug out bag of 75 pounds. Now, I'm 55 years old. I'm in decent shape, but I could be in better shape. But there ain't no way in the world I'm humping a 75-pound ruck for any sort of distance. So, you don't need to have everything, including the kitchen sink in your bug out bag. Then you get into a scenario of this. Like me, a lot of you guys are planning on bugging in, okay? And I'm right there with you. And I've said many times, the only way I'm leaving here is if the forest goes on fire or the Chinese come over the hill. All right. But those are things that are possible. So I need to have a bug out bag. In my case, if that starts happening, my bug out bag is something that gets thrown in the truck and the truck starts driving. Okay. That's my plan. Now, doesn't mean that I don't get 2 flat tires somewhere down the road. Doesn't mean that the transmission goes on the truck. Doesn't mean I run out of gas or whatever. There could be a time where I'm going to have to hump it to get to safety. So, hence the reason for having a bug out bag. The other thing is, and I hear a lot of people talk about this, oh, I've got a bug out bag, I've got a get home bag, I've got an EDC bag, whatever it is. Okay, that's overkill to me. Maybe not to everybody, but to me, that's overkill. The bug out bag goes in the back of the truck, stays in the back of the truck, and that's it. Reason being is, if I'm somewhere away from home and I want to get home, everything I need is in that bag. If I'm at home and I need to get somewhere else, everything I need is in that bag. Why reinvent the wheel? If you've got one bag that's got everything in it, take that bag wherever you go. So, give you this as an idea. This is, and I'll try to shrink this down. There we go. This is my bug out bag. Mrs. P's got a similar one. Mine weighs about 30 pounds. Hers weighs about 20 pounds. It is a Ozark Trail bag. It is a Walmart bag. Okay. It's not the greatest quality or anything, but for my purposes, it works fine. I don't need to go out and buy some $200 trekking through the wilderness, backpacking whole deal and everything like that. It's a bug out bag. It's not a lifestyle bag. Your bug out bag is pretty much set to get you from wherever you are to where you go in about 3 days. That's what you're planning. You're not living out of that bag. Okay. You might have to go more than 3 days. It's not tried and true. But so what I want to do, I'm going to take everything out. I'm going to lay it out on the table. For those of you guys who are military, this is going to look like an old TA-50 layout. But to show you some of the stuff that I keep in the bag. Now, what I'm going to lay out here is everything that Mrs. P and I have in both our bags. And so this will go in 2 different bags. Just understand it. This isn't all going to fit in one bag. We're not going anywhere basically apart. We really don't. Okay. One of us is always at the homestead if somebody goes to the store, or if we both go to the store, we both go to the store. Never do we have a time where she goes one place and I go another place. Somebody's at home. So we always know somebody's at home base. unless we are together. So in that respect, because we can carry everything we need for both of us, maybe I have more of one thing or both of one thing in my bag and she has none in her bag, okay, for weight reasons or whatever it is. I mean, obviously I'm bigger than Mrs. P, so I can carry a little bit more. But those are kind of things that you're going to look around with. I mean, think about having kids, all right? You've got a 6-year-old, and a 6-year-old is going to need food and toilet paper and whatever. You're not going to put a 30-pound ruck on the back of a 6-year-old, so dad's going to have to carry more. That's just kind of how it works. So I'm going to lay all this out. I'll show you what it is, kind of go through everything. But I will tell you this right now. Everything that I'm going to show you fits in both of these bags. So this is everything that we can carry. So I will get to you. Let me lay all this stuff out, and I'll show you what it is when I come back. All right, so I've laid all this out, and basically it covers the entire kitchen table. But I want to kind of show you what we're talking about here. So I'm just going to kind of go down the line. Water bottles, very important to get good water bottles. Also having a LBE, like the military, load-bearing equipment, straps, belt, everything like that, which I'll also have with me. Canteens of some sort. Definitely have yourself a can of bug spray, preferably one that keeps away ticks, because if you're hiking through the bush, you don't want to get bit by ticks. Everybody's favorite, sanitary wipes. Okay, that's what you're going to be using to clean your hands, clean your face, bathe, if you will, a little bit. You're going to get dirty, and the last thing you want to be doing is eating with dirty hands. We all know that. Industrial strength trash bags. Those things can be used for a multitude of reasons. You can make a poncho out of it. You can make a shelter out of it. You can carry stuff in it. Don't get the cheap ones. Get the heavy-duty bags. Cordage. Cordage goes without saying what you can use anything for. Paracord. Other people have talked about different kinds of cordage, but definitely have yourself a bunch of paracord. A tarp. And on top of the tarp there are a couple of tent pegs. And that way you can make yourself a shelter. I'll probably do a video on that this month, how to make a very quick shelter. Extra clothing, dry clothing, a couple of t-shirts there rolled up, a pair of pants for Mrs. P, a pair of pants for me. I don't remember whose, I think the black ones are mine. Socks, dry socks. You've got to take care of your feet. So make sure you have plenty of pairs of dry socks. I think we've got 3 apiece in there. So you're good to go. Obviously take underwear as well. However, I'm not going to show you guys our underwear. Bandanas. You want to have these. They'll keep the sweat off your brow. You could always use it as a makeshift mask, whatever it would be. Emergency ponchos. Like I said, those are good. Or you can use the trash bags. The advantage of ponchos, they're not expensive and you got a hood to them. Depending on where you are, I have knit ski caps and knit earmuffs there to keep yourself warm. Obviously, in the middle of summer, those come out of my bag. In the middle of winter, those go in my bag. Medical, there's your key, all right? Have everything in there. Neosporin, aspirin, whatever your medicines, whatever you have to take, have that in there. Sunscreen is important. The quick clot there, I highly recommend everybody get, because if you're hiking through, you're going to cut yourself on something, and if it's a bad one, you need to stop the bleed. Bungee cords. Bungee cords, again, like cordage, can be used for a multitude of things. Always good to have. They're not expensive. These are welder's gloves, and the reason I have these, obviously they are long, as you can see, so they'll go up over the sleeve, so they'll keep you warm. But if you've got to make a fire, you're not going to be out somewhere with fireplace tools or anything like that. You're going to be sticking your hand in a fire, or if you're cooking or whatever, hot can or whatever is not going to be fun to grab with your hands. Welding gloves will keep your hands cool. As my microphone cord gets tangled here. There we go. Safety glasses, definitely good to have. You don't know what situation you're going to be in. You're walking through a bunch of trees and things like that. Protecting your eyes is going to be key. Zip ties, definitely want to have zip ties. Again, you can see I've got a bunch of stuff zip tied up in rolls, makes it easier to pack, but zip ties have multitudes of use. A crowbar. Definitely have one of these with you. It's going to be the most important tool you have. If you need to get into something, that's the tool you're going to need. Also makes for a good close contact self-defense item. Military guys, you'll know this one. If it moves and it shouldn't, WD-40, or I'm sorry, it was duct tape. If it doesn't move and it should, WD-40. So yeah, have, Gorilla tape or T-Rex tape, some super strong duct tape, and some WD-40. Lighting, have a lantern of some sort and a headlight so you can maneuver around in the dark. Fire, lighters, tea candles, a ferro rod, anything like that, definitely worth having. Cold weather gear. You want to have an emergency sleeping bag. You can see how small those are. Those are very important to have if it's going to be, if you're going to be outside. It'll keep the critters off you, it'll keep the weather off of you, keep you somewhat warm. Toilet paper. You don't want to be using leaves. I don't think I do, and I certainly don't think the ladies do. More candles, pencils, a sewing kit, more lighters. You can never have enough stuff to make fire, guys. And if you also notice, everything is in Ziploc bags. That is very important because chances are you're going to get wet. And the last thing you want is all your fire starting stuff to get wet. This is electrical. I have that just in case. I had some. I don't think it's something to go out and buy, but I figure, okay, if I've got it and it's small enough, I'm going to put it in my bag. And if I need to jump a radio or something like that, somehow I can do it. I've got it. A multi-tool, a Swiss Army knife type deal. Anything from your little pocket knife to your screwdriver to whatever. Great for making small repairs. Extra buttons, just in case your pants button pops off. I mean, you know how it happens. It always happens at the worst time when, something happens and now your pants are falling off. Fishing kit. Okay, in there, I've got bobbers, hooks, bait, line, God knows what. I can find a stick somewhere and make a fishing pole to eat with. Food. This is where, everybody's going to be a little different. Beef jerky, good to have, good source of protein, good amount of calories, very lightweight. Tuna fish, ramen. Personally, again, this is the military in me. You got to have your hot sauce so you can eat some of this stuff. Couple of cans of ravioli. You guys know me and my ravioli. Silverware, that's kind of important. Go to the dollar store, get yourself a couple of forks and spoons and throw them in your bag. No big deal. Move around here. Mrs. P is a salt addict, and I'm the pepper guy, so got to have our salt and pepper for everything. A can opener. I did the video on the P38 and the P51s. Obviously backups to backup. So have something like this, have your P38s, whatever. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm useless without coffee in the morning. So some instant coffee. Twist ties and a marker. They'll come in handy for something, guys. I guarantee it. Cloth rags. You're going to need this to clean something, whatever it would be. All right. And, paper towels are great, but you can only use them once. Cloth, I can rinse them out and use them again. This is kind of a maybe if you want to, but I always think a deck of cards is good to have just because you're going to get bored. And then, of course, I have pets. So we have dog food dishes, 2 of them there. So I can, get the dogs water or whatever it would be. A cable to tie them up with and a couple of days worth of dog food for them. Then on the bags itself, where I have tied up on the outside, talk to you guys about a little crank radio. Okay, something like that's definitely worth having. You definitely need a head covering, hat of some sort. Mrs. P's not a real hat wearer, so I keep hers tied to her bag. Me, I got my hat on all the time. A compass, definitely something you want to have so you're not getting lost if you've got to walk. And then, of course, on my bag over here, I've got a stake to tie the dogs off with and a couple of carabiners. But, sorry about that, hit the wrong button. I was going to flip it back over to me and wound up shutting the camera off. But all that will fit in 2 bags. And there's not much else that I can think of that I'm not going to have that's on me. Obviously, I will have my sidearm. Obviously, I will have my knife. Those are things that are going to be on my LBE. So I have, those on me. Not everything is carried in your backpack. Communication, LBE. So have something like that. But for what is in your bag, okay, that you're going to need, maybe my bag's a little heavy for what a lot of people need. Maybe people are saying there needs to be more. Like I said at the top, you need to make the bag for what's going to fit best for you. Again, a bag for somebody in Alaska is going to be totally different from a bag for somebody in Arizona, different climates, whatever it would be. But this is some ideas of some things to have, the size of what your bug out bag has to be. And like I said at the top, leave it in your car. Okay. That way it goes with you wherever you go. Because, unless you're walking down, to the grocery store for 20 miles, and leaving your car at home, chances are if you're going anywhere, it's in your car. But that way you've always got it with you. And if you ever get in a pinch, you've got pretty much anything you need to make a shelter, to treat a wound, to get something to eat, to, fix yourself if you get injured, stay warm, whatever would be, stay hydrated. So that was just an overview of my bag. If you've got other ideas of things that you'd put in yours, please share them with everybody else. Like I said, a lot of veterans here, a lot of newbies here, and for everybody to get a chance to pick each other's brain is the whole point. So have a good one, guys. It's Friday. We'll see what happens throughout the day. Pinball out.